All right, what's going on, guys? Back at it with another video. So, if you didn't see the video that I posted last night, go check that out. I went over some prop bets that I like. It was kind of a first look. I still like them now, but I used Stokastic's Pick'em Pro tool to kind of look at some props that they like for today. So, before we jump in, I'll just share this with you just so you can see what Pick'em Pro is. So John Collins rebounds under 57% chance to hit. They have pages on pages of this. So you can sort it out by over under, you can sort it by matchup props, you can do it by the player. Definitely worth it if you're trying to get better at prop bets, kind of see what they like. I'll put the link in the description below if you guys want to sign up. Definitely worth the investment. So Sorry. Okay, so the first prop that we're going to look at is Michael Porter Jr. over 6.5 rebounds. I remember the start of the year that I'm going to share this as well. I remember at the start of the year, he was getting more than this. I think they had him started at like 5.5 or something, but this is his career stats against them. So obviously, in 2 games, he's had 5 and then 10. Still a good spot. There's possibly going to be no Jamal Murray. Even if Murray is in, I still like this. He, Michael Porter Jr. still gets there. I mean, he plays a 3 and the 4. I know Aaron Gordon is probable to play. I still like this bet here. So that's pretty much it. I mean, this is just kind of a bet that I take pretty much whenever it's up. Kind of like if you watched last night's video, I talked about Gafford PRA that I usually get to. I usually go with Mitchell Robinson too, but recently he's been kind of ass. So I don't really like that anymore. But there's some bets that you can get to and some bets that you can't. But I like this spot for Michael Porter Jr. So the second prop bet that we're gonna go with is Joel Embiid over 49.5 PRA. So in the one matchup against Washington, he had 48 points. Not saying he's gonna do that again tonight, but he had just 48 points. The Wizards' defense is terrible. They're second worst in the league. Um, the final stat line, as you see here, so this is 48 points, 11 rebounds, 6 assists. He was all over the place. The spread, I'm gonna double check it. I believe it was 10 in favor of obviously of the 76ers. The over under in this game is 239, so I expect there obviously to be a lot of points scored. Oh, and it just moved to 10.5. I still like this spot. Um Embiid is clearly one of the best players in the league. He's gonna get there. His rotations, he's gonna shoot the ball a lot. He's gonna be all over the floor, grabbing boards and whatever. This is a great spot for him. I couldn't really find this. Some of this data stuff that I use, so for whatever reason, they only have this on Vooch, but the third prop is going to be Vooch over 32 PRA. If I'm not mistaken, Zach LaVine is still out. In the last meeting, Vooch had 14 points, 13 rebounds, 3 assists, but that was obviously with LaVine. Charlotte's defense is terrible. Um, yeah, Charlotte's defense is bad. This doesn't really scare me. Being a Bulls fan, when we first got Vooch, people thought that he was going to, you know, be how he was in Orlando, where he was just getting near triple doubles every night. I've kind of noticed when he's come to Chicago, he obviously doesn't have the role that he used to in Orlando, so he's not putting up a bunch of shots. But with having no Vooch, Obviously, DeMar. I think Alex Caruso's playing. I know he hurt himself one of the last games that they played. Um, Vooch is going to have to grab a bunch of boards. He's got Kobe White, who's been hot. He's got DeMar. He can dish the ball a little bit. Vooch hasn't really shot as well from the 3-point line. I feel like almost every time I watch him, he takes like four threes and then he misses them and then he just doesn't shoot again. I think if he can get a couple threes going, just boost his confidence in scoring. He's going to have to, get to the free throw line. This is a great spot for him. Charlotte also does not have, LaMelo Ball. Um, the Bulls are minus 195. It's a 4.5 point spread. The over under is 219, which I don't like too much, but I mean, the Bulls just kind of bad in general, but I still like that spot. Lastly, we're gonna go with Paul George over 6 rebounds. So for whatever reason, they don't have it on here either. I was kind of just looking at some other spots, and I've noticed you can also take his points and rebounds. If you want to go with PRA, that's fine, but I know points and rebounds has kind of been pretty good with him. I do know that the second to last matchup, he had 7 rebounds. He had 35 points that game as well. So that's a good spot for him. He averages 6 against Denver. He's averaging a little bit more than 6. Watching some of the most recent games, he's been pretty much all over the courts. He's got Kawhi, he's got Harden. They haven't really put the pieces together. But if anyone really steps up, it's going to be between Paul George or Kawhi. So I do think that this is a good spot for him in terms of rebounds. Something else to note that I found out, which I find interesting, the Clippers averaged 15 offensive rebounds in the 2 matchups against Denver. So Denver is just giving up a bunch of offensive rebounds. So hopefully some of those fall into Paul George's lap and can cash pretty easily. I'm gonna look at PrizePicks, see what his points and rebounds are. Last night we talked about Clint Capella and Anthony Edwards over points and rebounds, which I'm probably still gonna get to a little bit. He's at 28 points and rebounds. Recently, he hasn't played so hot, but I like this spot for him. If I had to choose, I would probably do more of the points and rebounds. The Nuggets are actually the Clippers are favored by 1 and the over under is 228. So this is a good spot for Paul George. So now that I kind of think about it, just take his points and rebounds. So that should just about do it. I'm going to put this in the link in the description if you want to get started on Pick'em Pro. You can see, like I was saying, projection, win percentage, and all that good stuff. So yeah, just make sure to like and subscribe if you haven't, if you found this helpful.